The film begins in a modern city. We see a monkey agent waiting for someone. His mission was to come back after stealing a briefcase from someone. Willis, the agent in charge of his case, was arrogant and careless. During the mission, we see members of the Tiger Gang attack and were to run after stealing his briefcase. After getting a car, Willis begins to pursue them. Willis finally succeeds in taking back the briefcase after much destruction. After taking the briefcase, the monkey agent returns to the headquarters. When he arrives, the captain rebuked him, saying that his ways aren't good. There has been so much destruction in the city as a result of your actions. He was sent to a secret base to guard a secret place as a punishment. He will be joined by Agent Hector. Soon after, a helicopter arrives and transports him to the base. Willis arrives and immediately realizes that the place is in horrible shape. Nothing was organized, and luggage was scattered everywhere. He meets Hector, the IT manager. He has two hobbies, eating pizza and watching a lot of movies. They don't get along together. We can now see that several people have arrived at the base via submersible. They've arrived to steal the car, and this is the cargo whom Willis has been sent to protect. They were busy stealing the car, while Hector and Willis were busy watching movies and eating pizza. When Willis criticizes the movie, the two begin to fight. In the meantime, they see a red light beep. They look on the screen at some persons who are near the cargo. Both run to save the cargo. The robbers' leader, on the other hand, watches them running through. Later, he activates some drones to arrest them. They are now trying to destroy drones after being separated from each other. Hector jumps on a drone and later controls it after changing its programming. Later on, a large number of drones are activated. We can observe how he, while driving cargo, comes out with a diary that falls. Before Willis can stop, the third thief arrives and takes both of them. When they return to the agency, they report that the cargo has gone missing. Here, Captain rags and inform them of the presence of a radio station in that cargo. That is both radioactive and valuable. If it gets into the wrong hands, it may cause widespread destruction. Later, he asks for their suspension, and Willis pulls out the diary and shows it to him. That I've found this diary and will now find them out by any necessary means. Now, Captain, give him time to return it as quickly as possible, otherwise, it'll not be good for them. On the diary was written the name of a hospital. Both dress in the nurse's costume and head to the hospital. Willis wants to go inside by himself, so he leaves Hector intoxicated and goes inside. He sees the heroine from the movie, whom he criticized in the film. In the hospital, Willis watches the news on TV and learns that a robot has frozen a white rhino. The captain tells in the news that there are only 5 white rhinos. That whoever is doing this is only doing it for the white rhinos, and wants to finish them. That has happened before. Where some mammals had previously been demolished, Willis, too, sees to it that the frozen rhino is brought to the hospital. Willis notices the rhino being taken to the doctor by a beautiful nurse. Later on, Willis nurses him and takes him to the doctor immediately. The hospital's light had gone out while the doctor was treating him. Without electricity, saving Rhino was impossible. Later, Willis uses his brain and calls out an electric fish, and the rhino saves after its usage. In the hospital, we notice a technician with a snake as a pet. He was engaged in the task of repairing a coffee machine. Snake has an allergic reaction to the coffee. As he drinks his coffee, he transforms into a huge and dangerous monster. Later, everyone begins to flee, and Willis tries to control the dragon. When the coffee's effect wears off, it returns to their snake. Willis was about to fall, but the beautiful nurse comes to his rescue. We can observe how they begin to like each other in this way. Hector recovers his senses while still under the influence of the drug. He starts telling everyone that I'm an agent here, but the doctors think he's crazy. He was later transferred to another ward, where he was later released with the help of a sheep. He approaches Willis, who is accompanied by the nurse. He was afraid he'd tell him he wasn't a nurse, but rather an agent. Later, he brings Hector into another room, which he knows is the same place where the rhino was brought. Willis notices that the room is now empty and that there is no rhino. Meanwhile, they are notified by a voice from the outside, and they wait by hiding them. The doctor takes the actress inside and informs her that she needs a separate room, which has been reserved for her. Later, the doctor goes from there. They secretly listen in on that actress's conversation. She was talking about radioactive material with someone. Willis comes and tries to arrest her, but she explains that she is an actor who was practicing her role. They've both apologized to her. Later, she blackmails him into involving her with them, so that I can have some good practice for the play. Willis is forced to say yes against his will. They eventually leave this room. They learn that there is a secret floor here from the conversations of other nurses. They return later and see a variety of photographs placed there. There was secret planning going on. There were many images of the doctor, and it seemed possible that he was involved in all of this. From the pictures and documents, it's evident that he's on a top-secret mission. They come upon some casts, which the actress recommends being played to check. To play such casts, Hector says we'll need a VCR machine. That is no longer in use. They find the entire radioactive material in the same way. Also a variety of other costumes to deal with radioactive materials. Observing everything, it was evident that the doctor was involved in everything. Meanwhile, some people come while taking White Rhino. When Willis tries to save him, a robot with a frozen white rhino appears. They barely make it out of here alive. The actress notices a car with the hospital's logo painted on it. Willis had no idea what was going on, and the robot was about to attack him. Hector uses his gun to injure the robot's arm, and the robot flees. Hector informs Willis, I believe this robot is the doctor. He wants to provide non-stop powers from using radioactive material for him. Willis has taken his hair and tells Hector that we'll verify everything is done by a doctor with a DNA test. Many things will become evident after that. They both leave by turning on the tap to see what's inside. When they turn on the tape, they watch how the doctor dealt with his friend on Mammoth Island. Many mammoths died as a result of global warming. They utilize this radio station to control global warming. As a result, global warming decreases, but due to the machine's damage, the island and the surrounding seas begin to freeze. They believe that after gathering this information, they should return to the agency to the captain. On the other hand, the actress realizes that this isn't that doctor's DNA, but rather that of a mammoth. When they arrive at the office to provide the proof to the captain, Willis observes a bandage on his hand. His assistant accidentally opened the door in which the robot costume was. Both understand that the captain is also responsible for everything. Captain locks them up in a locker with the tiger that Willis had captured earlier. He was playing a video game he couldn't finish. Hector helps him in completing the task, and the tiger later helps them in fleeing. They go into the hospital after fleeing from there. Did he observe that beautiful nurse dressed in the same thief's costume? Willis suspects she's working for an agency. She, on the other hand, asks them to follow her and leads them to a secret place. It was a unique universe, with various species from various globes that were about to become extinct. The doctor also arrives and describes how he rags following the mammoth event. The objective of stealing radio sites, according to Nurse, was to have access to an unlimited supply of power. As a result, they could easily experiment. In addition, the doctor claims that he could easily control the temperature using radio power. He can save many animals who are about to die. Willis informs the doctor the captain is a mammoth. He maybe wants to seek revenge, as he has tried to kill rhinos in the past. Now he will surely send his agents to catch us. But we'll have to face them all at once. On the other hand, the captain sends his agents to them in a similar manner. When all of the agents arrive, they immediately begin fighting with them. They also battle alongside them, and we observe the technician giving the coffee to the snake. Later, the snake transforms into a large dragon and engages in fight with them. The agents were being beaten one by one and the captain arrived in a robot suit. Later, he began to freeze them one by one, including the dragon, who surrendered and was frozen. The doctor appears and inquires as to why you are doing this. According to the captain, I was a child when you were experimenting on Mammoth Island. My father had a feeling that something was about to go wrong. As a result, he put me on a boat, and as we moved, he noticed a blast on an island. Later on, everything, including his family, became completely frozen. He was now blaming the doctor for everything. Later, he pulls out his rifle and uses it to freeze the doctor. When the nurse and Hector arrive to help him, they are both become frozen as well. The actress who was in fact a bee arrives on the scene. With her antenna, she calls a swarm of other bees, who attack the captain's armor. As a result of this, his armor breaks. Willis uses his gun to shoot the armor. As a result, the radio station would be damaged, and his power would be lost. The captain's powers have now been finished. The captain doesn't give up. He holds the actress at gunpoint to blackmail others. Meanwhile, the doctor arrives with a new mammoth. Captain was shocked because she was a childhood friend of his. She claims that it is due to their doctor that I am alive today. He is a wonderful person, not an evil one. After that, Captain becomes happy and admits defeat, and hugs another mammoth. In the film's last scene we see them all restoring the frozen animals with the use of a radio station. Willis also proposes to the nurse, and Hector is pleased with the actress, and the movie ends here. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel. Thanks for watching.